So do you need a 60,000 plus year manager for your restaurant?
Get your knife and fork ready to dig into a plate full of profits on the DFY Restaurant Revolution podcast with your host, recovering restaurant owner, Michael Thibault.
Hey, thank you for stopping by and checking this podcast / videocast out. My name is Michael Thibault, and I'm a recovering former restaurant owner of over 26 plus years with 6 restaurants and a very successful catering company. And I sold everything in 2008 to open done-for-you restaurant marketing systems to help independent restaurant owners do the things they don't have the time to do, which is get more new customers and get your existing customers to come back more often, spending more money. That's what we do. That's been our mission. So you can have a better restaurant and a better life. So I appreciate the time. I know how busy you are because I did it for 26 plus years. So the big question I get from a lot of different of my restaurant clients and people I meet, speaking at seminars and talking at food shows, hey, do I need the high price manager? Really? I mean, at some point, you're going to think to yourself, are they really worth what I'm paying them? And you're going to roll a bunch of different scenarios in your head. Well, if I fire them, I can save, 50, 60, whatever it is you're paying them, a year. I can save that salary. I could do the job myself, and I can just, keep that money and pocket it so I can get a paycheck. Or you're thinking, you know what? I don't need a manager. The staff's doing great. They kind of manage themselves anyways. That manager's just sitting in the office, playing on the computer, playing on the phone. Okay, so you're justifying in your mind why you don't need a manager, which is not the way to approach it. If you're thinking about it that way, you probably need a different manager, okay? Which is one of the most important positions, if not the most important positions in the restaurant. So I had multiple restaurants at one time. There's no way on God's green earth I could be in all 3 locations at once. There's just no way. So I need to rely on my management team and management staff, which can be made up of different, you can have a floor manager, kitchen manager, back of the house manager, bar manager, floor manager, head server. There's all different ways, that you can create a management team. But if you're trying to do it all yourself, you know what's going to suffer? You're going to suffer because you're going to have to be there 7 days a week from open to close, and you're going to get pissed off, and that's going to transcend to your staff because they all react to the manager or the owner's attitude for that day. You or your managers, and I always met with my managers before they met with the staff and reminded them, how much money we're going to make on the floor tonight is dictated by you and your attitude. So if you're going around looking for stuff that's wrong instead of looking for things that are right and encouraging the staff, that's going to affect how much money we're going to make because they're going to have shitty attitudes on the floor, and that's going to come through to your customers, and you don't want that. So a manager's position is super important because they're obviously dealing with guests, they're dealing with the staff, which, man, if you don't have that buffer between you and the staff, you're just not going to get anything done, right? And same thing with vendors, like a manager, general manager, kitchen manager, chef, whatever your structure is, they can deal with that, all right? And you need to inspect what you expect with them. They need to understand. And what I find most of the time working with restaurant owners is that their management team doesn't understand what they want or what they're supposed to do because the owner just assumes that they know. Don't assume, what's that old line? Don't assume because it makes an ass out of you and me, okay? So make sure they understand. My last question I learned always with my management staff, do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you get what we're supposed to do? Do you have any questions? Do you understand this system? Do you understand the parameters of this project and what we're going to accomplish? Go back and ask them and check up on them again and again and again to make sure they're clear. And they should be doing the same thing with your staff to make sure there's no miscommunication, because that's when bad things happen in a restaurant, is when things aren't communicated correctly. Okay, so it might not be the manager's fault. It might be your fault because you didn't explain yourself well or give them the tools, system, and education they need to succeed. And that's the attitude that you want with your management staff. And if you have a manager, a competent manager, that I like to incentivize, with profit sharing. And most of the restaurant owners that I deal with that aren't managing their restaurants day to day incorporate some type of profit sharing. Because then you give, they feel like they have ownership, right, in your business, and they react a little bit differently. But the quality of the manager is definitely going to affect your profits. And we've all had good ones and bad ones. But what I like to do is look for a manager that can fill in the gaps that, I might be short on. And I'll give you a quick story and example. But if you hire a competent manager, that'll free you up to do the more important thing, which is working on the business, not in the business. I know you heard that before because it's a catch line that everybody uses now. But you can't make $100,000 a year chopping carrots in the kitchen, all right? It just ain't going to happen. Or washing dishes, all right? You can do those things occasionally if you like to do them, but if you're in the kitchen 10 hours a day chopping carrots, you ain't going to make $100,000 a year. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's just the way it is. So you need to have those people in place to allow you to focus on the important things like marketing, right? Like community outreach, like improving your systems, like thinking about how to get more new customers through the door and get your existing customers to come back. All right. So please think about that. When you're developing your structure or looking at your management team. Okay. So this is what I meant. I've had managers that have made me tons of money. This is a great example. So one of my restaurant, Waves, which is still open, St. Clair Shores, Michigan, right across from Lake St. Clair, big summertime. It's on the Nautical Mile. It's all independent restaurants. There was like 12 of them when I had my restaurant. Now I think there's 8. But it's the largest concentration of pleasure boats on freshwater in the United States because there's just 4 or 5 marinas in a 1 mile district. Lots of drinkers, right? Lots of drinkers. When I opened Waves, that was mid 1990s, I think. And I didn't have, most of my restaurants were higher end. I had California cuisine, wine bar restaurant, and upscale like New York Deli that did a lot of catering. I did have a pizzeria, but I didn't have any booze. I didn't have a lot of experience in the bar business. Waves was like my first, big time experience in the bar business. My second GM that I hired was an expert in the bar business. I learned so much from him because he owned a bar. I grabbed him, his bar burnt down, and I picked him up right after his bar burnt down. This guy knew how to promote a bar, make money with a bar, how to build a business, how to run a bar with bartenders. I learned so much from him that carried on and on and on over the years on how to make money selling alcohol and properly running a bar. It was awesome. So I wouldn't have known that or got that information or made that much money if I didn't hire him. So I thank him, for that knowledge and, passing that on to me and also helping me run a very successful operation. So do you need a manager? I'd say absolutely you do. And you need to find a good one, which is the trick, right? So if you need any help with that, or you need any help with your marketing, and it's free, totally free, you can go to our website, dfymarketingsystems.com, and you can sign up for a free marketing success strategy session. Or if you don't have the time, it's only 20 minutes and it's free. Speak with an expert directly, customized specifically for your restaurant. It's not a sales pitch. Or if you want a free restaurant success marketing membership, you can do that. Just click the link where it says member in the top right, and you can sign up there and get a bunch of free marketing stuff, copy and paste, social media posts, marketing calendars uploaded every month, new social posts every month, systems, toolboxes, all kinds of stuff to help you have a more successful restaurant. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great marketing week.
Thanks for listening to the DFY Restaurant Revolution podcast. Join us in the revolution by subscribing, rating, and reviewing on your favorite podcasting platform today.